Hello, hello. Let's see. Yes, it does work. Hey, everybody. Parker Studios, Brenton Watts, SXYTH3. I don't know how to pronounce that, but hello. Red Winter, Joey Snowy. I wish an Arkham Knight Damian Wayne was the Arkham Knight. Uh, you're in for a treat because the Arkham Knight isn't even in my rewrite at all. At least, not at the moment. Okay, so to kind of explain, I've sort of on my channel, it hasn't gone very far yet, but like I had this whole like Arkham finale, like redesigning the Gotham map, and I'm taking it a little bit further, or at least I hope to. I'd like to make a video where I explain like how I would do the game, which is kind of like what I said in the first redesign episode. That was like something I said. Actually, I think that was something I said the Arkham Knight retrospective would end with. So maybe that could be the final retrospective episode is compiling all this stuff together. But in this video, it's kind of a chill. It's not gonna be action packed or anything. It's kind of chill, just like basically I'm brainstorming and I'll explain it. Like the stuff you see in the background, at least the left side of it, is stuff I've already written, and I'll show that in more detail. But you can watch my most recent video, the voxel video, is my most recent like redesign thing. I will be continuing that. Maybe I shouldn't say that. Um, I hope to continue that. As you know, I'm very inconsistent, but we'll see. But in this video, we're gonna be doing this. So, here is the reference that this is like the map redesign, and I might still stick with this. This doesn't matter too much ultimately right now, but I just thought I'd put this in for context. This was like the first live stream I did. I like was designing this. So yeah, that's cool. But what we're gonna be doing is Krita, so hopefully it pops up. Hopefully, at least. Because it does like bug out sometimes. Yeah, there it is. And let me see if it's showing up. Yeah, it does. Okay, so is the rest of the Arkham locations on the map? Yeah, it is. So like I have Arkham City where it should be. In fact, I much prefer my Arkham verse map because it correctly places things where they should be in according to Arkham City. So Wayne Tower is directly behind the museum like it is in Arkham City. And Arkham Knight, they kind of like slanted all of Arkham City and it was kind of weird. It wasn't like bad, it was just like it could have been cooler, so do you think the game would have been better if Joker was gone? Actually think Joker was probably the best part of the game, honestly. Um, I haven't gotten to like what his role is in my story. And to preface this, like Arkham Knight already exists, so like what I'm doing isn't fair, technically. I will be taking a lot of stuff from Arkham City and continuing on with it, like Hush and Azrael, that Arkham Knight just it completely ignored. Um, but stuff like the blimps that I'll explain, like that is kind of like even though as a kid I really did like the blimps and I wanted to go up to the blimps in Arkham City, uh the idea of the blimps having interiors is something that Rocksteady came up with. So I'm like retroactively stealing their idea. So like this obviously isn't fair. Like obviously having the retrospect of Arkham Knight and the problems of the story is inevitably gonna make it easier to like rewrite it. So this isn't fair. Like I'm gonna be taking some stuff. I'm gonna try as much as possible not to take stuff from Arkham Knight and kind of think of it as like I'm starting from Arkham City, but like inevitably there's just some really cool ideas in Arkham Knight that like I can't ignore. So this is the stuff I've gotten to, and this is like one chapter. And this is like in Krita, by the way. It's just a little painting software. Um, the two characters, there's like multiple characters I'm working with. I do have Azrael down here. I want Azrael to be a big part of the story. Also, you can see my horrible handwriting. I got a drawing tablet recently, so I've been wanting to use it. But you could see like I don't know if my handwriting is good. It's probably pretty bad, but look, it's notes, okay? Don't worry about it. Um, this is all I have for Azrael right now. I want Azrael to be kind of like a reoccurring character that shows up, possibly like sort of like a Catwoman DLC type of character where if this is a real game, there would be a DLC where you play as Azrael, or maybe it's actually part of the story. Um, but he kind of shows up and he's more of a villain. Like in Arkham Knight, he's just kind of this dude that wants to become Batman for some reason. And I think it could have been a lot deeper than that, and the prophecy could have been more interesting. There is a part of the game I really wanted to get to. I want the Great White Shark to be in the game and Maxi Zeus to be in the game. Well, actually, Maxi Zeus isn't in the game, but he's very important to the like lore behind the Olympus Hotel, which is like a huge location in the game. Let me before I continue reading this stuff. Uh, your map design would have been a decent attempt on the developer's behalf to prevent Batmobile going on every island. Wish Arkham Knight actually involves Scarecrow more? Yeah, Scarecrow, I definitely want to avoid the idea of like person talks over the intercom the whole game. It's kind of like Far Cry or something. It's kind of like the Ubisoft formula where like the main villain talks over a radio, but you never actually see them until the end of the game. So it's kind of lame. And you guys can also like suggest things. Doesn't mean I'm gonna take it, but like you can suggest stuff. The main villain is still so Scarecrow is sort of the main villain, but okay, here's what I would say. Scarecrow is like the starting main villain that you think is the main villain, but Hush is the true main villain, and I haven't really gotten to Hush yet. Would Azrael been better as a main character or like Robin where I think what I'm gonna do with Robin actually is have it be where you switch to Robin. Of course, like there'd be dual play like moments where they're together, but I'd also like it to be where in this game you finally get to see Robin. And I actually would like maybe I don't know if this would make canonical sense. Is canonical a word? I don't know. I would think it would be cool if Tim Drake is Red Robin in this game. I don't know if that makes sense. We'd have to like research into it. But I just think it would be cool. I like the idea that ever since Arkham City, Batman has been pushing people away. Because Arkham City just really messed with him. And so Tim Drake is sort of more on his own now, and I feel like that matches with the whole Red Robin thing. I haven't actually read the Red Robin story in the comics, so like not an expert on that, but I feel like it might work. We could look into it. Here's what I've been doing though, and this is a lot of world building. Like these notes I'm doing are just world building. It's not even really like there's a little bit of plot in here, but it's not like a script or anything. I did a little origin story for Maxi Zeus, and I changed it from the comic version, and I think I'm allowed to do this because Maxi Zeus's origin was never fully told in the Arkham games. Instead of making him a history teacher, which is way too on the nose, I made him a professor in science. So, classical mechanics, electromagnetism, and stuff. It's kind of on the nose, but I feel like a history teacher where he teaches Greek mythology is more on the nose. Um, Also, I've been watching Breaking Bad recently. I started watching that, and I thought it would be interesting to like make Maxi Zeus kind of like a character that was normal at first and then got corrupted. So like Maxi Zeus, Maximilian Millen Zeus, which Zeus is his actual last name, I'm pretty sure, which is really odd. But he's a teacher at the University of Gotham, and he's not treated with respect like the other professors because he is obsessed with the kind of like type of science experiments you do in high school. He really likes electricity, so he likes to like physically do experiments where you see electricity, which is like he doesn't like the theoretical stuff. He doesn't care about the new sciences. He cares about this old stuff. So they put him in the lower level classes, which I guess kind of upsets him. But the idea is he isn't taken seriously. He's very judgmental of his students, but he's still very good at what he does. He lives in a traditional household that he's kind of getting tired of. You can see the Breaking Bad references here. Um, and he kind of he wants to escape from it. So he starts using his abilities to basically assist with like robberies and stuff. Um, I don't know the specifics of this. I don't think we need to give super specifics, but it keeps going for years until eventually he messes up and the Charles Sionis, kind of a more unknown character. It's Black Mass's dad, Roman Sionis's dad, who owned Janus Cosmetics. And so Charles basically gets Maxi Zeus's family killed, and that's when Maxi Zeus kind of like snaps. He goes after Charles, and the thing that like brings the Zeus character to life is, of course, he is obsessed with Greek mythology. I didn't really go into that here. But he's almost killed by Charles when he goes after him for killing his family. But luckily, lightning strikes Charles, and he dies. And so Maxi Zeus thinks this is like a sign that he's a god. And so he becomes Maxi Zeus. And he becomes kind of like he snapped basically, and he fully thinks he's this character now. Um and so he opens up this hotel eventually, Olympus Hotel. Obviously, that's the Greek gods lived on Olympus. And this is kind of like where his headquarters would be. It's kind of like a front company to like um do different criminal activities. Um and he's kind of completely abandoned his old life. Eventually, though, he is sent to Arkham Asylum, and that's important. Let me read the comments, though, just in case you... Oh, we got some stuff here. I feel like a cool concept would be where Bruce Wayne has a bounty on his head and Batman has to figure it out. Well, oh, I mean, yeah. I want to have Bruce Wayne in the story. Hush is super important. Um, and one thing I want to emphasize with this. Let me get back. Let me read this comment and then I'll talk about it. Would have been cool if they added Calendar Man, almost like a side mission or Halloween. Calendar Man would be a cool side quest. And yet, Serious House on Serious Earth, I actually read that recently. The Arkham Asylum book that came out in 1989. I read that recently. It's one of the best comic books. One of the best Batman comic books I've ever read. It has like multimedia, like it's crazy. It looks crazy. There's like real pictures in it mixed in with like illustration. That book is insane. And in that story, Maxi Zeus he's actually addicted to electric shock therapy, which is something It's a little bit different in Arkham. In Arkham, and this actually relates perfectly to what I was going to say. Everything should go back to Arkham Asylum. Every character, Azrael, I'll have to somehow connect to Arkham Asylum. But you'll notice that both of these characters, Great White Shark and Maxi Zeus, they connect back to Arkham Asylum. They have some kind of trauma. In basically, Maxi Zeus's reign just went away because he was sent to Arkham Asylum and they tortured him there. They gave him electric shock therapy many, many times to the point where he just went completely crazy, couldn't even manage anything. So even though he escaped after the Arkham Asylum event, the game, um, he never came back. He never like took control of this hotel. And this hotel is like something I made up. I don't know if Olympus Hotel is an actual location. It's an idea I've had for many, many years of like Maxi Zeus having this hotel. Because there's like many different interpretations. Sometimes they interpret Maxi Zeus as like a political figure, which I think would be cool. But the idea here is that both these characters have some kind of trauma. Like the Great White Shark, Warren White was also tortured not only by the staff at Arkham Asylum, but the other uh, patients. Like his nose was like frozen by Mr. Freeze, and so he was this normal guy. He was like this finance dude that pleaded insanity and went to Arkham Asylum thinking that was like that was gonna like get him off of his charges. But it was like a terrible idea because he didn't actually know what Arkham Asylum was like. It's like the worst asylum in the world. And so um he's just mentally destroyed by the asylum. And so he goes crazy. And in the context of the Arkham Knight event, which we need to figure out what the event is. Right now, I just call it a terrorist attack. It does have to do with Scarecrow, but it might be a little bit different to like what actually happens in Arkham Knight. And I do want citizens to actually be there when it happens. There's no evacuation or anything. Like I'm literally gonna have it where they're like trapped or something, like The Dark Knight Rises. Um, but yeah, everything goes back to Arkham Asylum. This basically I want to end it where it left off. And my new video that I'm going to like release soon is basically the new video is going to talk about Arkham Asylum the game and how the game, if you've seen Micah Edmonds' video, Arkham Asylum is over. It's a very important, really good video, well-researched video about how Arkham Asylum the game is highly problematic and has very problematic depictions of mental illness. And Batman in that story just sort of ignores this stuff. He's kind of just a bad person because he never really comments on the horrible stuff that happens at Arkham Asylum. There is like the Amadeus Arkham mission in Arkham Asylum that I actually want to reference back to in this game a lot. And Amadeus Arkham is supposed to be like kind of a representation of Batman. And if you read A Serious House on Serious Earth, it's very clear that's what it is. And Amadeus Arkham is someone who was very altruistic and really cared about the mentally ill and wanted to help the mentally insane, wanted to cure them, and ultimately he ended up snapping and turning into the opposite, where he wants to rid the world of the mentally insane. It's a very dark story, and it's something the game talks about. But in the main story, you don't really get the impression that Batman cares at all about this. He just kind of like blankly talks to people. He never gives his opinion on any of this stuff. And in the game, you like literally beat up patients of the asylum. like the lunatics, as they're called in the game, are these lobotomized people that Batman just beats the crap out of for no reason. Like he could just easily ignore them. And you can ignore them in the game, but like the game doesn't recognize it at all. It doesn't reward you for it or anything. It's just treated as normal. And so even though Arkham Asylum has some like plot holes like that, I want to take that and use that in Arkham Knight. And I don't even know if I want to call this game Arkham Knight because Arkham Knight's not in the game. But like I want to use that as like I want to use that as a way to create a plot point out of this. Also, like Wayne Enterprises has a lot of problematic things with it. Like they're gentrifying a part of the city with Founders Island, which is something I'm taking from Arkham Knight. And so Hush is going to be the arbiter of truth, basically, is going to be pointing out all the hypocrisies with Bruce Wayne and Wayne Enterprises. And then Hush is also going to know who Bruce Wayne is eventually and is going to point out his hypocrisies with Arkham Asylum. And Joker, his like hypnotized or whatever, hallucinated Joker also is going to be like, hey, you're like a bad person. So I want it to be about basically this game is about everything that has happened throughout Arkham Asylum and Arkham City and everything else is coming back to haunt Batman. And the entire game is just breaking him down. It's similar to Arkham Knight, but I don't think Arkham Knight really... Arkham Knight, like, it didn't utilize stuff from Arkham Asylum. It utilized Jason Todd, which was kind of haphazardly thrown into the story. And it didn't have the impact that they could have referenced stuff that Batman did in the events of the other games instead of something he did outside of the games that we weren't controlling. So I want to come back to that. So at the middle of this kind of like brainstorming map will be Arkham Asylum, and everything should connect to it. Even Scarecrow is going to connect to it. So yeah, that's pretty much the explaining. It's been like 27 minutes. It's been like 30 minutes of me explaining. Let's see. Mad Dog Hawkins was the equivalent of Joker to Amadeus. Yeah, pretty much. That's the thing about Batman. He doesn't usually look into the deep-rooted corruption of Gotham, more specifically Arkham. And that's that. Yeah, exactly. And that's something that some writers do, like emphasize. Like I think in the new Batman film, Batman is more aware of that. Like he starts out just, beating up people on the street that aren't really responsible for the deep-rooted things. Eventually he realizes like, oh, there's like these people that are controlling everything. Those are the people I need to stop. Is he a rewrite of Arkham Knight? It is the final story. Is Arkham Origins a part of the Arkhamverse story? Yes, it is. Definitely. Is Amadeus Arkham an original character? No, so Arkham Asylum, the game, was actually based off of a book that came out in 1989 called Arkham Asylum, A Serious House on Serious Earth. So a lot of the concepts from that game, all of Amadeus's backstory is based off of that book. It's a really good book. Really weird book. Like everyone's a villain in that book. No one's a good person. Which is kind of like what I want to do here. So the thing with the blimps, what's actually happening in the story is this is going to be like later in the game. But I like the idea of you like scaling this very tall hotel, one of the tallest buildings in the game. You're scaling it up. It's kind of like a Royal Hotel, I guess. You're scaling this hotel, and what's unique about this hotel is that the blimps can actually like dock to the top of it. And so because of this like terrorist attack that has happened, this is actually a very strategic point to control, because you could do like rescue missions from here. You could have blimps come in or helicopters or something to like rescue people from the top of the hotel. Unfortunately, the great white shark and his crew have taken over the hotel because they have a bunch they have 55 pounds of a new drug that they created from. It's basically a version of the Titan formula that is now being it's now widely spread throughout the city. And so that's kind of like their gig, this like gang. And so they have all this stuff and they want to get it out of the city because they want to sell it. They don't want to lose it. So they need to get out. So they control this place and they're waiting on this blimp, but there's no blimp docked at the moment. The blimp that belongs to the Olympus Hotel, which Maxi Zeus hasn't controlled for about 2 years or so. Uh, the Powers family, and the Powers family, which you'll know, I'm pretty sure, what's his name? Batman Beyond, the guy, like you can see his skeleton. I forgot his name. I'm pretty sure he's like a Powers descendant or something. But yeah, the Powers family is like this extremely rich family. They have bought the hotel like a year ago and they control it and they have their blimp in the sky for most of the game, but they're not contacting anybody. Like they're not even trying to rescue anybody. They're just sitting up there. And so like the police and stuff are going to be wondering about this. Batman's going to be wondering about this, and the great white shark wants them to come down so they can steal the ship and get out of the city. So that's like the main plot point with this. After I read Serious House on Serious Earth, I actually thought, what have I read? Yeah, it is crazy. It's a very crazy book. Wait, so is Gotham in this game like Arkham City Gotham, not the small, short building architectural nightmare that was AK map? Yeah, so that's kind of something I outlined in my Arkham Knight redesign, which I'm on episode 2. I'm like redesigning it in Magic of Voxel now, but that map that I did is like a recreation of the Arkham Knight map, so it will be taller. It's not going to be the size of the Arkham City map because that background is just unbelievably big. Like that, no development team could make that, and if they did make that, it would be very under detailed. So the map I'm thinking of is it's a little bit bigger than the Arkham Knight map, but most of it is tall skyscrapers instead of like Bleak Island. There is Bleak Island, but a lot of it will be taller. So yeah, the skyline of this city I'm thinking of is huge. Like Olympus Hotel is much taller than the Wayne Tower that you have in the Arkham Knight game. But yeah, I do have my, and I don't know if this stream will be super long and you'll see me like mess up. But this is like a chapter of the game and I need to figure out like how this is going to end. Now, there is something I could steal from Arkham Knight that I thought would be a cool plot point. In Arkham Knight, you have the Killer Croc DLC in the Iron Heights prison, which is an airship. Iron Heights in the comics is not an airship, it's a regular prison for like all the Flash villains. And it was actually a really, really good idea to make that an airship in Arkham Knight. Um, wouldn't it be cool if like you get to the top of this tower, you've defeated the Great White Shark or something, and like when I have like a circle in front of their name, that means they're like sort of a main villain of sorts. And so you've defeated the Great White Shark, and then a blimp, like an unknown blimp, docks at the top of the building, and you think it's gonna be the blimp that the Olympus Hotel like it's attached to. It's like this luxury blimp, kind of similar to like the Stag airships, like that front Art Deco looking room, but like that's the whole ship. It's a luxury ship for like rich people. I think it's gonna be that, but it's actually a prison, and like people the doors open and they like attack you or something. But that is like stealing, like that when it comes to like a retrospect on Arkham Knight, that's like I don't know if that's fair. Like I feel like that might be too much retrospect on Arkham Knight. Are you still working on Minecraft Gotham City? I mean, I'm working on a Minecraft Gotham City. It's not the same one. Actually, I will drop. We haven't added an update in a while. Put it here. Haven't added an update, but I hope it'll let me do this. That Planet Minecraft page has the Gotham City I'm working on with my friend, so but it's not the same one, and I haven't been making videos on it because it's like a shared project. I might make a video on it eventually, but really do not count on it. Um, explores a lot of biblical thoughts in Batman, basically stating that Batman is neither an angel nor devil. Yeah, and that what I like about that book is that it really Batman kind of accepts his position. He kind of realizes that like even though I am seeing like this like bat figure that like was haunting Amadeus's mother, even though that's like made up, obviously, it's not real. It's still kind of metaphor. It's still kind of a metaphor for the fact that Batman is the arbiter of Arkham Asylum. Like he's sending people to this place, this really messed up place, and he questions the doctor's like methods of rehabilitating these people, even though Batman all he does is just drop people off there. He doesn't actually do any of the work. These doctors do the rest of the work and they put their lives in danger for it. Batman just, beats people up and then sends them there thinking that that's going to somehow save them. And so it really like highlights Batman and he kind of accepts this. And at the end of the story, Joker is just sort of another person. Like Batman is brought down to the level of Joker and these other characters, which I think is something I want to do here, where it's like, is Batman much better than these other people? Like, sure, he doesn't kill, but like, what has he done, really? So let's see, didn't attack. So what do I want to add here? Trying to think. Of course, we have these connections to Arkham Asylum here. Should I make this? I don't know if I want to do Iron Heights because I'd just be like totally stealing that idea. I I don't think I should make a Discord server. I have way too many Discord servers. Um, so I think it'd be cool. There's like two stages to this. You're scaling the Olympus Hotel, fighting the Great White Shark crew. I don't know what they would be called. Uh, maybe the Great White Shark gets onto the blimp. There's also that mystery of like what are the powers doing? I also maybe the powers are connected to the Order of Purity, which is the religion that or it's like this religious cult that is controlling this version of Azrael, which I need to put his name. Um I'll just do this. Ooh, why is it doing that? I gotta get rid of that. It's here. It's still P, so I don't know why. Whatever. Why is it doing that? Let me bring up my close everything, bring up my pen tablet stuff. Maybe that's why? Is that better? Yeah, I don't know. I forgot his name. What's his name? So... It's not the usual Azrael. It's like the police officer. His real name is... Michael Lane. So yeah, in Arkham City, Michael Lane was like set up. It's like slightly. And you're gonna see like how freaking bad my handwriting is. Michael Lane. And the thing with this, or the Order of Purity is not the usual cult. I forgot what the original cult was called, but usually it's a different one. The Order of Purity is like an even more radical version of it, where they're kind of desperate and they have this like religious armor or something. Oh, here was an idea I had. What if, you know, the sword in Arkham Knight? Um, what if Azrael, it's prophesized that the only way to kill Batman for his crimes against the city is to, the only way you can kill him is with that sword. But he doesn't have the sword. Uh, and the Order of Purity needs Azrael to get it. And what if the sword is on the blimp and like the Powers family has had it as like, I guess, a historical art piece? They bought it for like millions of dollars and they need it back. I think that would be a cool idea. I could put that. Let's see. Where is Azrael? These layers are like not very, very good. Yeah, that's Azrael. Whatever. So I'll put it right here. So. And what is that sword called? So the suit is called Suit of Sorrows and Sword of Sin. Oh, that would be perfect. Killing Batman with the Sword of Sin. Oh, I don't like the pausing it's doing. It's like every time I open this program, it's like different for some reason. And the reason I'm like writing this out instead of typing it is I don't know. I feel like I get more creative when I have to write it out. It also just looks cooler in my opinion. Searching for the, uh, do it here. Of sin. And we could say, let's put a period. Terrible G. I don't like the pausing. Actually don't know why it's doing that. Also, I would play music, but it is copyrighted, so on the... Let's name the blimp. So, has a luxury blimp. Let's actually name it. So, it's a location. I'll just do this. What would it be called? Because it needs to be like Greek themed. Do you have any programs in the background that might eat up memory or something? Is it lagging? It's not. Are you talking about like the input? It's not that. It's some for some reason usually when you hold your pen down it brings up the like a palette wheel, which I disabled because I didn't like it. Instead my palette wheel is P instead now. But it just keeps doing it. Also, I did play, like, I played like 20 minutes of Gotham Knights, and I couldn't do it. I just got rid of it immediately. It's not for me. I just don't really like it. Where would Arkham Asylum be in your map? Let me show it. So, Arkham Asylum. Let's not move that. Let's move this one. You can't really see it here, but it would be somewhere over here. I don't know if you can see my mouse. Um, it'd be in this a similar position. You'd actually be able to the bridge to it would actually be coming off of the Arkham Knight island next to this weird. I wonder if you can actually see my mouse. I don't think you can, but it would be coming off of the Arkham Knight like downtown island. It wouldn't be in the exact position as the game, like if you're looking at it from Arkham City, it would be in a generally similar position, but not perfectly. But yeah, it'd be connected to the Arkham Knight Island. I don't know if you'd be allowed to go there, but also my music stopped. Turn it back on. There we go. Yeah, we need to name this. So let's see, Mount Olympus. Does anyone know Greek mythology? Because, like, I don't. It is Mount Olympus, the real mountain, is near the Thermaic Gulf of the Aegean Sea. Maybe it should be Zeus. So let's look up Zeus. So obviously, symbols of Zeus are thunderbolt, eagle, bull, and oak. We could call it Jupiter. That's Zeus's Roman name. The Batmobile would not be a tank, fortunately. Okay, I'm gonna call it Jupiter for now. Ooh, pen is backwards. Jupiter. Come on, there you go. So that's what the blimp is called. So down here I'd be like... I might change that later. Sounds kind of awkward. I could make it the Jupiter, like there's two of them. I could call this Jupiter 2 or something. If I click P, It's like this eraser. And then I click P again. I go to this one, which should be 6. Ah, the Jupiter 2. Because that sounds more like a name of something than just Jupiter. So that kind of gives Azrael an excuse to be around here. I do want to figure out like what the Powers family is doing. Maybe they're more connected to like Scarecrow. Hmm. I had a let me bring up my other one. I had like a pure ref board. Let's see what I had on there. It's very small. Ah, this might be important to show, actually. See if I can get it on screen. It's always on top. I don't want that. Let's turn that off. Okay, let me add this. Window capture. Why does it look like that? That does not look right. It's like glitched out. Hmm. That's so weird. Let me just do, unfortunate, but we must. So I think y'all can see that, right? Yeah. So this is my pure ref board. Because I was going to start with text, but I thought it'd be cooler if I did this stuff instead. So we're on this kind of area. I have like barely any text here. But this is kind of the layout I was thinking of. Um, I would have the Hush stuff and the Wayne Enterprises, Bruce Wayne stuff here. Arkham Asylum and Arkham City is in the middle. And then Scarecrow and like the Ace Chemicals plot line is over here. And then I wanted to do the aquarium. I've had this really cool idea. We actually in the Minecraft Gotham, the planet Minecraft Gotham that I'm working on, we have like an aquarium. It's like this gothic aquarium. It's really big. It's got multiple sections to it. I really like the idea of like a underwater location in Gotham City. I thought that would be cool. Kind of similar to BioShock, but not futuristic. It's like this older building. So I thought it'd be cool if that's like a chapter of the game where you have to go into this aquarium. And it's also kind of cool because it's like this is the biggest Arkham game, and you go the deepest you've ever gone in. I guess that's maybe not true because there's like Wonder City or whatever, but you go super deep underwater and you also go like super high into the sky. So I thought it'd be cool. And I was thinking this section could be primarily Robin's section where you'd play as Robin. Um, so yeah, those are the kind of four main areas. And I have other characters like this would be Amadeus. Uh, maybe have the Architect, which is a very obscure Batman villain from the what was that called? Batman Gates of Gotham, I'm pretty sure. And then of course Hush. So these are the kind of like things. I hope y'all can see that. Yeah, you can. What would Olympus look like? I'm thinking it's a very like neoclassical building. It probably be similar to the Royal Hotel, but it's just one building. It's not like two towers. So, and we could add images later, kind of showing what it looked like. Why do you think I should be the main villain? Because this story is about exposing Batman for all of the mistakes he has made. And his failure to like help the city and especially Wayne Enterprises' failure to help the city. Um, or I guess just Wayne Enterprises like hypocrisy because it's weird that Wayne Enterprises and Arkham Knight is funding the rebuilding of Arkham City, like restoration, and they're restoring other buildings in the city, but at the same time, they're gentrifying Founders Island. Like they're spearheading this project where they're destroying people's homes and historical buildings to build corporate offices and headquarters and hotels on. Like how is that consistent at all? Like it just doesn't make any sense. So I feel like when I read that, I feel like Wayne Enterprises is just doing the restoration stuff as like PR points. Like look how cool we are to kind of distract from hey, we're like destroying people's homes. Like in Arkham Knight, there are like protest signs outside of the Cobblepot Manor, like don't destroy these historic neighborhoods. So it's like Hush is kind of like the character that's going to truly expose Batman for who he is and like expose Bruce Wayne for who he is. So I'm trying to think because I want this to be later into the game. So of course Azrael is going to get the sword of sin. Um, I might just like put in Arkham Asylum. The transparent one. They scale things. I don't like that. Somewhere in the middle. Sort of. I'll probably just put it over here, and then I'm going to make a new thing called Arkham. And let's... Amadeus Arkham. And this is what he looks like in the book. Looks crazy. We also need some Quincy Sharp as well. Quincy's the real villain. Which one should I choose? Oh, this one will work. This one's perfect. I'm not even on the Arkham layer, whatever. I can put it on there later. Hush is basically anarchy? Not really. I mean, I think Hush in the story just generally has hatred for Bruce Wayne, which is something I don't know the specifics of yet. Because, like, I read the Hush story recently. I say recently, it was like a few months ago. But that story is not as good as people say it is. I really don't like it. I feel like Hush's origin is just kind of weird. It doesn't really make sense. And I'm not sure what it is in the Arkhamverse, so I don't know. I might change it if possible. Um, but I feel like he has a general disdain for the I guess he is kind of like anarchy. He's attacking the wealthy population of the city. He feels like people like Bruce Wayne are hypocrites and they are doing more harm than good. Even though they're trying to convince people that they're like Bruce Wayne is like a charity. He's trying to spread charity, but like really he's also supporting like really messed up things. So I guess he sort of is anarchy in a way. So I guess we'd have to add more context to it to like make him not just anarchy. Have to like sum up Amadeus Arkham. The story is kind of complex. Mm. I think this is how you spell altruism. Altru. What I also found cool about the book, or I guess the game, is there's this reoccurring statue. I think it's a Greek statue or something. It's like it's like Poseidon with a serpent like wrapping around his legs or something. And it shows up like twice in the book. And you can actually find that statue in the botanical gardens in the game, which I thought was cool. What was I don't need to give his first name. Mad. What I want to do with this when I finish it is turn this entire thing into like an infographic. Like turn this into text and organize it and make it kind of like a poster. I don't know. I couldn't sell it, but I thought it would be cool. Also, this is kind of like practice because it would be cool to do this with my own IPs, just like do more writing like this. Because I have a notebook, but I feel like it's cooler because here I have like infinite space. I think it's Hawkins. I don't know if Oliver's still here, but thanks for watching. Uh, Only reason I like Hush because he's an awesome villain, I guess. I mean, he has a really cool character design. Like the bandages and like his suit is really cool, but like he needs a cooler backstory. And I feel like the fact that he can like reconstruct people's faces, but he only does it for Bruce Wayne is kind of lame. Like, I don't know, he could do it for like multiple characters. He would make for a great like movie villain. I'm very surprised he hasn't been a movie villain yet. What made you become interested in Batman and Gotham more? I mean, uh, I grew up on Batman. Like Arkham Asylum is like my favorite Batman game. It was my first. I mean, I played Lego Batman, and Lego Batman has like, unknown characters like Killer Moth and stuff. So, and then going into Arkham Asylum where it was like, oh, this is actually like really dark and mysterious, and you have those like character bios. So that just kind of got me into it. And they're kind of based on comic books, so eventually, you know, I'm gonna bring up. Is that how you spell routine? Rue. This is also what's good about this. Is like I figure out how things are spelled. Routine. How do you spell routine? Ah, I figured it out. Because I'm dumb. There's a game called Routine that I really want to come out. If I'm not making mistaken, he's done it to multiple people in certain stories, but most stories he's just Bruce's face. Yeah. Hush is gonna be the main villain of the Batman too? How do you know that? Where is the proof? Knight. It's like this thing. Yep. Just outlining like everything messed up about Arkham Asylum and Arkham City. Ooh, I scaled that wrong. Have to hold shift. You can tell like I'm terrible at S's. And probably what I'll do is it's like obviously doing the entire thing on stream is probably boring. I kind of meant this to be a chill stream anyways. It's more of like a VOD. I'll probably do a lot on my own and then just kind of like do what I did this time where I explain it and get feedback on it. Because a lot of this stuff takes time. Like you really have to think about like the connections because like each of these things got to connect to each other. Wonder what would be over here. The director posted it? Let me look this up. The Batman 2 Hush. I heard about Clayface. Jeff Snyder recently informed fans that Hush might appear in the Batman 2, but it's only a rumor at the moment. When did this come out? It was October 16th. Hush announcement breakdown? I can't tell if it's like actually confirmed. It's like mixed results. This was like last month. I mean, I'd like to see Hush. I just see rumored a lot. Like, what did he say exactly? Was it like a tweet or something? Crap. Oh, this is really hard. There's a word I do not want to like show on YouTube. Orchestrated? Or orchestrated? Back to Google it is. I think it's orchestral. Orchestra. Yeah. Orchestrated. I don't remember where the apostrophes are. City Hall. Oh, and of course Hugo Strange. Like, come on. Guy is a weirdo. I feel like a teacher. And, of course, Quincy Sharp. Might be other people, too. Give me a second. I bet it was fake. But it was fake. Let me put a picture of the Sword of Sun. Hmm. Can I, like, crop stuff in here? Could I, like... Would that crop everything? Wait, yeah, I don't want to do that. Crop the image. Like, just this image? No, the entire thing. Okay. I could do this. And then... Why can't I right-click? That's weird. I've done this before. Maybe enter will... That's so odd. I guess I can just do this and then do that and do that. Aha, I'm so smart. It's kind of small. Small and pixelated. Where do I even put it? Did you find it yet? Let's see. Uh, Still didn't find it. What's up, the average clown hole? It's going fine. Stream is kind of slowing down because I'm just doing stuff. Okay. I also do want to connect this up with like arrows eventually, like a detective board. Probably add more details to this. Of course. Yeah. I guess this is like the really messed up stuff revolving around Arkham. I guess I'm actually a bit upset about it. I'm so hyped. Did you fall for a hoax or a joke tweet? Ah, could not find the tweet. Dang. I mean, a lot of people are saying it's rumored. I know Clayface is rumored as well, which I would be so upset if they did Clayface and it was like a realistic version where he's not actually Clay. Clayface and Hush in the same movie would be bizarre though, because they're kind of like similar. But I think Hush perfectly fits in that universe. I think Hush in a Mr. Freeze movie would be great. And something I'll always be upset about is the fact that Riddler isn't really the Riddler. Like he has riddles, but he's more so anarchy. Like I wish he was just anarchy instead. That would have made the movie so much cooler because we would have had a new villain we've never seen on screen before, at least on like in a movie form. And anarchy is so much more in line with the story of the movie than Riddler is. And the anarchy being like the Zodiac killer, like that would have been so much cooler than Riddler. I feel like Riddler doesn't really like it was cool, but it wasn't like it would have been better as anarchy in my opinion. It would have fit more. But instead like we just keep getting the same villains over and over again. It now I will say, and this would be weird. This would be like a Gotham show move, but like they could turn Riddler into anarchy maybe. Maybe he has some kind of evolution. Maybe Riddler, something about the Riddler like persona is corrupted and he has to like turn into anarchy and become like a political force. I'm gonna have to watch the stream from the start. I'm very interested to see. Yeah, the first half of it's pretty cool. It does slow down a bit. What I want to do is like do a lot of this stuff on my own and then stream have a stream where like we discuss like what I've done and like you guys can have input and stuff because I feel like watching me like write everything out isn't super fun all the time. But I thought like if I'm gonna do this, like I might as well stream it. Like why not? Um Clayface, no man who knows with Clay. I wanted to die when people were rooting for the Golden Age version of Clayface to be the one we see. What's the Golden Age Clayface? What the heck? What the? Oh no. No. That would be horrible. Like, that's kind of a cool character, but like at the same time, Clayface, I just don't want the movie to be realistic. Like, I want it to be realistic in some ways, but there's ways to like the Arkham games showed us that you can have really fantastical characters like Mr. Freeze, but still have them be fit in a realistic world. Like you don't have to make everything 100% realistic like the Dark Knight. I definitely agree with wanting anarchy. I think they just wanted to market Riddler since it would be a safe bet. But is it a safe bet? Because like the last time we saw Riddler, it was like what's his name? It was the really goofy one. I guess it was more of like a everyone knows who the Riddler is, I guess. So it's just that. Do you think you'll do more streams? These are soothing to put on the background. I'll try to. I might stream the Magic of Voxel thing, designing the city. Yeah, Jim Carrey. And Anarchy was an awkward, nerdy weirdo too. Yeah, for real. Like, I just think that would have made way. I feel like that made way more sense. And the fact that the whole color scheme of the movie is red, and Anarchy's whole color scheme is red, and he's all about, you know, like spray painting, vandalism, and that's kind of like the style they went for with all the posters and like the zodiac symbols. But instead they were like, "Oh yeah, Riddler." Like what? Like I don't know what's up with Riddler being like this malleable like everything but what he is. Cuz I don't think the movie really got down to the nature of what Riddler is. Um which is about like besting Batman like I watched this like really good video essay about it, but I feel like Anarchy would have made so much more sense. Let's have this really good picture of. Can I copy this? I can. That's epic. Also wish Arkham City. They should remake Arkham City. The more the as I grow up, the more I realize Arkham City isn't that amazing. Arkham Asylum easily my favorite Arkham game. Even though it has its problems, like I'm kind of utilizing this problem. Um but like I understand what the problem is, so I can get past it. It's kind of something I'm gonna talk about in my next video essay, is about how you can. I don't want to give away the point. I won't say it. You'll have to watch the video. Anarchy also seemed to have his heart in the right place, like Riddler, just extremely misguided. Yeah, and Anarchy's design would have been so cool. Exactly. They could have given him like the big hat and the staff. I definitely would like to see a remake because all of these games have issues with them. Arkham Origins, like if they're gonna do remakes, they have to do Arkham Origins because there's some really cool stuff in Arkham Origins that could be improved. It's like an easily improved game. I mean, you'd have to do there. I don't know. There's so much you could do. They should have focused more on like the whole uh assassin's plot. Black Mask should have been more of a main villain. Like, there's just a lot of stuff they could do. What do I want to talk about over here? So this is kind of like documenting the sins of Arkham. So like, you know what else came from Arkham is the Titan formula. Let me get like a Titan. Which in my little Arkham Knight rewrite, the Titan formula is turned into a less intense form that is used as like a common drug. I just want like the symbol of it or something. There's a canister. Also, in my Arkham rewrite, Joker does not have a weird virus that turns people into Joker. I thought that was the dumbest part of Arkham Knight. Easily the worst part of that game. Titan formula. Should I like show the Joker's weird mutilated Titan version? I'll just do this. Kind of cut that off too much. I don't know why I'm like a perfectionist about this. Can I like select it now? Oh yeah, I have to like do this and then I can grab it. I should put this over here because okay. Actually, this is all types of messed up. Put this here. Wish Dead saw it was a main mission, not a side. That's true. Mad Hatter side quest was good in that game. I just remembered Gotham Knights happened. Yeah, that game happened. Remember Suicide Squad? That's a game, by the way. That's coming out apparently. Uh, Joker virus was so dumb. I really don't get that decision. I wish Joker wasn't Arkham Knight. I I liked the hallucination part. It was comedic relief and it like cuz Batman doesn't say stuff out loud. He's very like he keeps everything to himself and Joker kind of just puts it out there. Kind of tells us what Batman is thinking. I actually think the Arkham VR game has like a really well-written version of Batman and Joker. Like exploring Batman's like greatest fear, which is becoming like the Joker. And that I think that's the reason that he's so I think that's the reason that this happens. Like why he doesn't put as much responsibility on himself for like the victims of Arkham Asylum because he's just so afraid of like he just doesn't want to go near Arkham Asylum because he feels like he's gonna become like them. He's got this like phobia. Batman is like a professional ableist in the Arkham games. Like he just does not want to become like he doesn't want to accept that he's like sick. Which is something I really want to explore in this. All right, so the say which has ah engineered into don't judge my writing. Common ah I swear everything's way harder when you're streaming. I don't know why. Common drug. This drug's kind of like the drops drug, but it's like a upper, not a downer. Makes you super strong. That drug is what the great white shark is dealing with. Honestly, hoping Suicide Squad game falls and WB realizes that we want Batman Arkham games, not Destiny 3 with DC characters. I don't think it's like Destiny, but I think it's kind of like it's like a culmination of a bunch of things. It wants to look like or like play like Overwatch or something. Um it's just really lame. Like it's just not for me and it's like obsessed with numbers. Like everything's about percentages and stuff like an MMO. But it's like the core audience of the DC games like we're not really into MMOs. Like there's DC UO, I guess. So I don't know. They're not really making games for their core fan base. I guess they're trying to expand or capitalize off of uh the trend, easily monetizable games. Fear Takedown from Arkham Knight was so cool. I think the Fear Takedown was generally good. I don't really know what I would change about it. Why did you change your name? Like my channel name? I wish there were more missions in Arkham Knight. I feel like Arkham Knight is it's not too long, but there's too much of like doing the same tedious kind of like meaningless tasks like that don't progress the plot. Like it's just a lot of like there's a turret that's like shooting this thing, go destroy it real quick or like oh no, I can't get in this building because it's locked and now I have to go to this other building to get the key. Like just like tedious stuff like that that doesn't actually involve any character development. There's so much of that in Arkham Knight. If the game was just if the game just was like broken down into the character moments instead of like just artificially stretched out, I feel like the game would have been a lot better actually. The format is just messed up. I feel like the other Arkham games had a way better format. What should I say about Arkham City? I know there's like this thing. God, why is it so pixelated? What layer is that on? Oh God, what layer is that on? This layer. Probably expand on this stuff. No Arkham City destroyed. A lot of... Let's see. Um... Gotham's... Not negligence. I guess I'll say there's probably a way better word for it, but lack of... I'm not really writing anything new here. I'm just like kind of setting the foundation of like the story. Hmm. Straight line. Sort of straight. Oh, that sucks. Eight concurrent viewers. Really? I'm like, I'm not really doing much. I love the idea of rewriting games, coming up with new and different gameplay aspects. I plan on doing something similar with Halo Infinite just for the fun of it. That's actually a great idea. Halo Infinite has a lot of potential, and there's a lot of like stuff that was cut from the game. That would be like really interesting. I wonder if someone's already done that before. Are you keeping anything similar to the opening where you play as the GCPD officer? Probably not. I want to try my best to do this as if Arkham Knight doesn't exist and I'm like starting from Arkham City from scratch. Of course, this isn't entirely true because like I'm taking the blimp inspiration, which like stag airships, they won't be the stag airships, but you know, so like some of this is going to be inspired from Arkham Knight, so I have a little bit of advantage. It's not really fair, but I want to try in some regards to be as original as I can. But I think that intro was cool playing as someone that's not Batman. I might have something similar. I don't know what it would be though. If Batman is taken over by fear toxin at any point, I feel like it would be cool to play as Robin and attempt to fight Batman. Actually, I think that would be a cool idea because I think I want this game to really like make Batman like Batman's a bad person. Like I want the game and the city and Hush and even Batman's friends to like really break him down. Be like, you gotta fix this stuff. And ever since Arkham City, Batman has been pushing everyone away, and I feel like Robin is getting disgruntled about it. And I feel like it'd be cool if Robin has become Red Robin. He's kind of on his own now. Um, and he's trying to help this situation, but he doesn't want to work directly with Bruce anymore. And this is something that it's similar to what happens in Arkham Knight, but they still work together and Tim still like sucks it up to Batman, which I don't think he should do. And it would be cool because I do have this section of the game where you play as Tim Drake, and it would be cool if like at the end of that you have to fight Batman. It does take place after Arkham City. It would be a similar time frame to like Arkham Knight. It'd probably take place a little bit longer, like maybe 2 years instead of one. It's not even 1 year after Arkham City that Arkham Knight takes place. I would have a little bit longer. And in that time, Batman is really like, just really like degraded. Maybe it's just me. I feel like the Quincy chart should have been more important. I feel like the politics of Gotham is interesting, especially when Bruce is involved. Exactly. That's what I want to focus on. Quincy Sharp was just kind of thrown aside just immediately. Like Hugo Strange. What's weird is that Hugo Strange is just basically Quincy Sharp. Um, but I guess like they wanted Hugo Strange, like the comic character, they wanted a new villain to hype the game up, so he's this different person, but like they're basically the same person in a way. Maybe Hugo Strange should have just been the Warden of Arkham instead of Quincy Sharp. Quincy Sharp is a cool name though. Batman is heartbroken that his Pookie Bear Chokey Wokey is dead and Batman can't fight his boyfriend anymore. That's true. I'm gonna have that in a hallucination. Yeah, so I'll probably fill this up with more things. And then everything kind of branches out. So Tim Drake's stuff will be over here. Barbara will be somewhere down here, like on the ref board I had. Azrael will be involved in everything. Um, Also something cool I want to do is I didn't really like how Scarecrow was in Arkham Knight. Like he was cool and scary, but coming from Arkham Asylum, it was just so bizarre. Like how does someone transform into that? Like he gets attacked by Killer Croc, his voice entirely changes for some reason. He's just a totally different person. And in this game, I want him to. He's still a big threat, but he doesn't have the same motivation. I want to give him a more like, I guess like the lizard from the Amazing Spider-Man, where like his fear toxin, he believes that it's something good, that he wants to. That he Scarecrow believes that the failures of Gotham is because of fear itself, and that people fear what they don't understand, and that has created things like Arkham Asylum. The fear of mental illness created has made the conditions for Gotham to put all of the mentally ill on an island far away that they can completely forget about. And so that has caused all these problems. It caused Scarecrow to get attacked by Killer Croc. So I feel like that would be a more interesting thing to do than just he wants to get revenge, because Batman didn't do anything to him. Like, Batman never did anything to Scarecrow. Scarecrow was always the one attacking him first. If anything, he should be mad at Killer Croc. And in this game, I'd like if Scarecrow is keeping Killer Croc as like a pet, not to like torture him or anything, but like he sees it as like a noble move that he's going to rehabilitate Killer Croc, the one that attacked him. I feel like Scarecrow could have just been a way deeper character instead of this like this dude that speaks over the intercom. Like they really wanted to recreate Hugo Strange basically, with the gimmick that he has this fear toxin. Thoughts on Spider-Man 2? I haven't played it, so I can't give a good opinion. Is there any initial why Gotham in the original game was so short? I think they just focused a lot on other gameplay elements, like the destructible environment, so it wasn't really possible to expand further. In my opinion, they could have reallocated their efforts to focus more on the map and exploration as Batman. They could have cut all of the Batmobile like tank stuff, just cut all of that gameplay, and they would have had a lot more development time to focus on the map. Probably because he tried to be an Australian crocodile wrestler. Yeah. But I want Scarecrow to be more in line with his original character. Like he will be changed. He will be like more creepy, cuz he was kind of like a joke in the original, like where he was not physically intimidating at all. He like solely relied on the fear toxin. So I want him to be more physically intimidating, but he's not like totally different. Which let me okay, here's the last thing I'll do. I'm gonna lay out some things. This is like a BioShock concept art. So this is the Elliot in the I'm taking the aquarium idea from the Minecraft Gotham City I'm working on. In that world though, it's not the Elliot aquarium, it's the Robinson aquarium, but I thought it would be good here to make it the Elliot aquarium as like to give some world building on Thomas Elliot. So the player can kind of learn more about the Elliot family, which I'll try to make different to the comic cuz again, I don't really like the comic very much. And then what else we got? We'll have Tim Drake doing his thing over there. He's probably going to have his own little arc or something. And then we'll have Wayne Enterprises. Have all that stuff. Founders Island type stuff. I keep like super slow. We'll have Hush. He's going to have a lot to do with Wayne Enterprises. And we'll have Scarecrow, of course. I'm trying my best not to use Arkham Knight images, but like obviously the Wayne Tower from Arkham Knight is the best looking. I might actually just draw these eventually myself. And Wayne Chemicals, or not Wayne Chemicals, Ace Chemicals. Like We all knew Ace Chemicals was going to be a location at some point in the series, so I don't really see how it'd be unfair to have that. And Scarecrow was always hinted at in Arkham City and stuff, so makes sense that he would be in the game. And then what's the other stuff I have? I have like a little icon for Batman. I don't know if I need that though. And then I have one for Gordon. I'll put Gordon here, and that'll be Gordon can represent the whole GCPD, what they're doing. And then we have this is supposed to represent Barbara, because we didn't really have a good picture of Barbara, so I just put the clock tower. Yeah, so I had definitely, I'm gonna expand the canvas. Right now it's like 8,000 by 8,000. I'm gonna expand it to probably like 10,000 by 10,000. And then we'll have a bunch of like arrows connecting different things together. I probably won't like actually, I might make a basic outline of the story, but I'm not gonna actually like write the story. I feel like that's kind of like not necessary. But I'll give like a general outline of like the kind of character arcs. This is like good practice for just like brainstorming, because I have like a bunch of IPs that I've created that have like world building, but I'm not very good at like characters really, so doing this will help me like develop that skill. I'm really good at like creating like worlds and like kind of the concepts and like scientific things about like why the world exists and stuff. But characters are hard. Would the game be titled Arkham Knight? Probably not. I'm just calling it Arkham Finale. That would be a dumb name, like actually, but for the series, I'm gonna call it that. I want it to be more like BTAS Scarecrow, Scythanol. That would be cool. His design was cool, I think. It was just the character, just the way he talked and everything. It was just a lot. It's very different. Because remember, Arkham Asylum only happened 2 years ago. So in that two years, he just completely changed. But his design would be different. Like he would be more like the Arkham Asylum one. Probably not like, probably not have all that skin showing. You probably have more like a cloak or something. But I want him to be creepy like Arkham Knight, but I don't want the same design. A scythe would be cool. I want Scarecrow to be like a force of nature, not just a dude. Because in Arkham Knight, he's just a guy. And what I want to develop, this will be my last point. I think it'd be cool if Scarecrow takes his own fear toxin, just like all the time, and has actually like he has developed the mental capacity to like not be afraid. Because in Arkham Knight, like Batman stabs him with the needles and he gets immediately just scared out of his mind of like Batman. And it's like, why Scarecrow's like talking all this crap, but he hasn't even taken this stuff himself. AK Scarecrow is basically Joker without humor. In a way, yeah, I guess. The fear toxin is like a great plot element, but like his character was just lame. Yeah, I think I'm gonna end it here. Cause like this stuff does go really slow. Like just writing in general I haven't actually created too many new concepts in the stream, just because like actually connecting the dots here does take time. Just randomly pops in my head. So like of course what I'll do is I'll kind of fill in another chapter maybe. I'll just fill in more of this and I'll come back eventually. No promises, honestly. I can't promise anything anymore. Um if I make another stream, I'll come back and explain what I've done, get some input, and then do a little bit more. But like, I don't want to stream every second of this because like that would be, I feel like that would be kind of boring. But I do appreciate like the concurrent viewers I've gotten on this is pretty good, considering that I've been like freaking gone for a while. Hopefully, I'll have the Arkham video essay. I haven't started recording it, but I'm in the final stages of writing it. I gotta like resize these. All right, let me transition to this. This epic thumbnail I did last minute. I don't know how to say your name. Is it Scythe 3? How do you pronounce it? But like I really appreciate you being so involved in the stream and Scythe. That's cool. Yeah, I appreciate everyone being here. It's totally cool if you can't catch the stream. I mean, it's just gonna be uploaded to YouTube, so you can skip through it. I would skip through it. But yeah. I'll see you guys eventually, someday. I don't know. Goodbye.